Pakistan have tightened once again after Pakistan sentenced Dr. Afridi to more than 30 years in prison. Afridi ran a vaccination program for the CIA to collect DNA samples, which are believed to have helped the intelligence agency to verify Osama bin Laden's presence and kill him at the compound in Abbottabad last May. Pakistani authorities have jailed Afridi for high treason, while the US is calling for his release. It says the doctor should be praised for his contribution.
Good afternoon, everyone. His help, after all, was instrumental in taking down one of the world's most notorious murderers. That was clearly in Pakistan's interests, as well as ours and the rest of the world.
Some US senators are angry, insisting Afridi is innocent. They voted to cut aid to Islamabad by $33 million US, $1 million for every year of the physician's 33-year sentence.
All of us are outraged at the imprisonment and sentence of some 33 years, virtually a death sentence, to the doctor in Pakistan who was instrumental, not on purpose, but was instrumental and completely innocent of any wrongdoing.
Pakistan sees Afridi as a traitor by running a fake vaccination campaign to cover his collaboration with the US.
I think as far as the case of Mr. Afridi is concerned, it would be decided in accordance with Pakistani laws and by the Pakistani courts. And I think we need to respect each other, legal processes and the judgment by the courts.
Afridi's case sours the two countries' relations once more after tensions increased when Pakistan closed overland supply routes to Afghanistan after a US attack on the Pakistani side of the border killed 24 Pakistani soldiers in November. The United States and Pakistan failed to resolve their differences at the NATO summit in Chicago. Keith Crane, CCTV.
For more on the controversy over Dr. Afridi's conviction, we are now joined by our correspondent Daniel Khan in Islamabad. Hello, Daniel. Thanks for joining us. How are the people of Pakistan reacting to the conviction of Dr. Afridi, or how are they reacting to the U.S. criticism of this conviction?
Well, the general public feels that the sentence of 33 years of conviction of Dr. Afridi is not enough and he should have been sentenced to death. This is what the people of Pakistan in general public are saying, and they say that the doctor should not have provided the evidence and the know-how to the CIA, but in fact he should have gone to the Pakistani intelligence agency and provided them with the intelligence that Osama bin Laden was in Abbottabad. And they said that this act of Dr. Afridi has put the lives of millions of children in Pakistan in danger, because now parents already were reluctant of giving their children the polio drops. It was a fake vaccination drive, and now they say that the people in Pakistan are suspecting all the international NGOs that they are also spies of the CIA. So yes, general public reaction is that they are aggravated, and they say that Dr. Afridi should have been hanged, and 33 years imprisonment is not enough for this kind of an act of treason. Yes.
Of course, U.S. and Pakistan are facing a record, their relations are facing a record low at this time. So how does the Pakistani government at this point plans to really deal with this Western pressure?
Well, the relationship between Pakistan and the United States went to its record low after the Raymond Davis incident, the CIA operative that killed two boys in the city of Lahore, and then he was chartered back to the United States. And then afterwards, we've been witnessing continuing drone strikes, and afterwards in last May, we witnessed a unilateral operation that killed Osama bin Laden, and then recently 24 24 Pakistani soldiers were killed at the Salala checkpost. So yes, there is a huge anti-American sentiment that is on the rise in Pakistan. The government seems to be in a state of helplessness because the elections are also around the corner. They have to be in a strong position to get elected again. So the government's, analysts here in Pakistan say that the government seems to be stuck in a catch-22 kind of a situation, and it has to keep the NATO supplies stopped so that it can get some kind of an attention and the sentiment of the public towards it. And now I am joined here by Mr. Sultan Hali, who is an expert on defense and also a diplomatic expert. We'll go and talk to him about what he thinks about the conviction of Dr. Afridi. Yes, thank you for talking to CCTV. Mr. Hali, the US leaders and the Congress are creating a big political and media fuss on Dr. Afridi's so-called victimization by Pakistan, and also they have stopped the $33 million aid to Pakistan. How do you look at this?
Thank you, Daniel, for asking. This is a very important question because, unfortunately, the United States is behaving like a bull in a china shop, and it does not care about the sentiments of Pakistan. But our viewers in China will appreciate that this case is similar to the case of the Nobel laureate Liu Xiaobo, who is a dissident and who was convicted by the Chinese courts. But the world gave him a Nobel Prize, and the United States tried to pressurize that he should be released to go and release and accept his prize. But unfortunately, the man remains a convict. Same way, Mr. Shakil Afridi may have done a service for the government of the United States of America, but he is a traitor in the eyes of the people of Pakistan, because as you rightly pointed out, if he had that kind of information, if he was a patriot, he should have provided to the ISI or to the police or to the government of Pakistan. Unfortunately, he chose to sell his soul like Mephistopheles in Dr. Faust of Christopher Marlowe, and that too for a measly $10,000. You see, one does not sell one's own country. If you do that, you are a traitor and you need to be shot or you need to be hanged. And the important thing is that the United States is trying to pressurize Pakistan not only to release him. There are senators who are saying that this man deserves the highest gallantry award in the United States, and they are also pleading that he should be made a United States citizen. Unfortunately, the courts in Pakistan are free, and this man received a fair trial, and if he has been convicted, he should serve it. You see, the imposition of a fine, or rather reducing our aid by $33,000 is very symbolic, because he has been given a sentence of 33 years. So they say that it is $1 million for each year of his conviction, which is making a mockery of our justice system.
Mr. Hali, many believe that yesterday's twin drone strikes on a mosque are a direct retaliation to the stoppage of the NATO supplies through Pakistan, which was stopped after the Salala checkpost attack by US SEALs that killed 24 Pakistani soldiers. How do you look at the future relationship of Pakistan and the United States?
Well, the future appears to be bleak if we have anything to go by with what has happened in the near past. You mentioned the Raymond Davis affair. 100 days, Mr. Raymond Davis remained in the custody of Pakistan, and for those 100 days, not a single drone strike occurred. Do you have me believe that for those 100 days, they did not have any credible information about any miscreant in the area where the drone strikes attacked? And the day Mr. Raymond Davis was released, exactly on that same day, 2 drone strikes occurred and 27 people were killed. So the drone strikes, again, have not only been used to target the miscreants, but they are being used as a weapon to coerce Pakistan, to force Pakistan into submission. Pakistan took a very correct stand on the 26th of November last year when Salala checkpost of the Pakistan Army was attacked and 24 Pakistani soldiers were killed, and this appears to be a premeditated attack because it lasted for 150 minutes through helicopters. It was like what the Americans call a turkey shoot. They picked out the soldiers and killed them. So it cannot be an accident. So Pakistan had to show its anger and Pakistan had to shut it down. Now the coercion is that we must open the route, and they have taken the alternate route through the Northern Distribution Network, which is 6,000 miles, for which the Americans are paying an arm and a leg. But with us, they are trying to negotiate that. Previously, they were paying us a measly $250, which they must have done in the time of Pervez Musharraf, when nothing was put in black and white, and Pakistan's interests were sold for a song. Now there's a democratic government in Pakistan which has taken a stand. The Parliament of Pakistan has taken a stand that the supply route of the NATO must be reopened only if, first of all, there's an apology for this incident. Secondly, if there is a proper transit arrangement. The route from Pakistan is only 500 miles as compared to the 6,000 miles from the Northern Distribution Network. And as I mentioned earlier, they're paying an arm and a leg for it. But they're not willing to pay us our dues for this. And as you rightly mentioned, that the people in Pakistan are very angry.
Thank you, Mr. Hali. That was Mr. Hali giving his analysis on the Pakistan and United States relationship in the coming future. Yes, back to you, studio.
Well, thanks very much, Daniel, for your reporting from Islamabad. Now, moving on to Afghanistan. French President François Hollande has made an unannounced trip to Afghanistan to visit some of the French troops and to meet his Afghan counterparts.